Let's bring in John Krafcik. He is the CEO of Waymo. He is joining us this morning exclusively on Squawk Box. John, you heard what Joe was saying there about the impact of COVID-19. You had to suspend operations for a while. You resumed testing. When do you resume rides to your Waymo One customers in the Phoenix area?
Well, thanks for having us on, Phil. It's always grateful to share our story. Yeah, we resumed testing in Phoenix just recently, May 11th. We've got our cars back on the road there, and we've been doing some additional testing in California at our proving ground. And we'll be back in service when it's safe to do so for everyone, probably over the course of the next couple of weeks in Phoenix.
You've seen the hit that both Uber and Lyft have taken in terms of the general public saying, look, we are not going to be taking as many ride share, certainly didn't during the big hit from coronavirus, may not return to ride sharing. How do you believe the future, or what do you see for the future in terms of ride sharing, and how much does that potentially change what Waymo will do in the future?
Yeah, I think for sure, right? The shelter in place requirements have put a damper on transportation of all sorts. And so we've seen it everywhere. Traffic is way down on our nation's roads. And, you know, if you've got the privilege of a home with a garage and a car or two in those garages, you have the opportunity to move from place to place right now. And that feels pretty good. There are a lot of folks out there, Phil, who don't have a car, though, right? And there has to be a way for those people to move around. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for companies like Waymo with missions to move people safely and easily from point A to point B. So I think we're going to be an interesting alternative as the economy in the world returns to normal.
But how do you convince me the car is clean? If I were to call a Waymo at some point in the future, how do you convince me that that car is clean and I won't contract coronavirus or anything else that might be out there?
Yeah, that's right. I think one of the great advantages we have is a fleet of extraordinary Chrysler Pacifica hybrid minivans. We own and control that fleet. They're all Waymo vehicles. And we have a wonderful partner, AutoNation, that helps us keep those vehicles very, very clean. And I think that can give folks a lot of reassurance that the ride that they're going to have is going to be a very clean, safe, and hygienic one.
John, when do you expand beyond Phoenix? I mean, right now you're in a very small area with Waymo One. When do we see Waymo One truly expand and become more than just a small area in the southwest part of the United States?
Yeah, so we've had a lot of experience driving, Phil. As you know, we've been in 25 different cities across the U.S. We're driving now in Phoenix. Of course, we've driven for years, more than 10 years. In the Bay Area, but we've also have operations in Detroit and Washington State, Miami, and other locations. So we'll be moving and expanding from this Phoenix area. Right now, we're driving in an area that's larger than the size of San Francisco, which is pretty cool in the southeast corner of Phoenix. And we'll be expanding that service into places like San Francisco and LA moving forward. Can't give you a specific timeline on that today.
Which then brings up the question, John. People sit here and they say, you guys just did a $3 billion round of raising capital. And when does Waymo become a profitable entity that will grow on its own? Or is this something that people are going to look at in 5 years and say, well, someday we'll see Waymo out there, but, you know, it's only in small pockets?
I think one thing to keep in mind is this problem that we're solving in this space, the problem of self-driving, it's probably one of the hardest problems we've ever tried to solve in the world, right? I think in many ways this makes landing a rocket on the moon seem a fairly straightforward task. So it's a long, long journey. We consider this to be an ultra marathon. We're just getting started on it. And it is nice. You mentioned the $3 billion we've been able to raise over the last couple of months. It really is pretty extraordinary, Phil. We ended up being oversubscribed. We've added a wonderful gang of partners to our cap table, folks like Silver Lake and Canada Pension Plan, Fidelity, T. Rowe Price, strategic partners like AutoNation and Magna. So it's a really good crew, and we're equipping ourselves for the long haul because I tell you, the world needs this technology. 1.35 million people die every year in car crashes. It's a pretty crazy situation that we've been willing to accept. The equivalent of a Airbus A320 crashing every hour of every day. That's the cumulative death toll on the world's roadways right now. We shouldn't accept that. We have to do better, and we think our technology and the Waymo driver we're developing can be really, really helpful in that way.